Would you be able to
Yes.
just from top to bottom first make a quick summary just because that was a lot of information?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know. It's definitely it's a lot. Basically, what we're trying to do is have those events fire. Do you want me to talk through?
No,
Let
like
me
if you
first.
could say like for a new account, like obviously I would have a brand new
Yeah,
account, but literally just added G4 to the website or sorry,
yeah.
tag manager to the website. So like step one would be you said the variables. We have to go into the
Variables. Yeah.
so like step one is and what variables are we choosing? How do we know what to choose? And then step two would be making yeah, I'm my brain is
Well,
my
Okay.
just there is what let me just interject with one sec. We also have a step-by-step guide that will be up on Kajabi where you can
oh
actually
perfect, perfect.
open a Google. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
open the doc and follow along with
Oh
slide pictures of
Yeah. Screenshots
perfect.
of inside the platform. The other thing, so with the variables, don't worry about it. You can click all of them. Honestly, they're
that's what I
then
would
there's
do.
just yeah, honestly, that's my own personal preference is the ones I pick. But honestly, if you just check them all off, you can't break anything. It just says, "Oh, track this if I want to track it." But there's nothing that's saying it's not gonna break anything. So you don't have to stress about that part. The biggest part is just focusing on how to make sure you're tracking the right button and then debugging it, which we went through today. It's definitely this is going to take practice. Once you get it once or twice and you've tested it, it honestly it'll feel like second nature in no time.
The
Yeah,
debugging is overwhelming for sure.
because
Oh,
yeah, like I'm in
oh,
my variables page and I don't have what you've shown. That's kind
Let's
of
share
why
your screen.
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I just have no idea because like I'm in variables and like I go
Okay.
into event, there's nothing, no configuration
Oh,
needed.
so in the top right hand corner, we've got configure there.
Top right. Oh, oh, okay. Ha ha ha
And
ha
then
ha.
yeah,
Got
so you just turn all those on. Like,
got
yeah,
it,
there's no
got it, got it.
also
Perfect.
you should
It's the
plug in your laptop.
debugging.
Oh yeah, by the time we get to the Google ads,
Yeah.
it'll feel like second nature because once you get a rhythm with it, it honestly makes your life a lot easier because you're able to track, you're able to then go to your analytics and pull out all this wonderful data about all the events that are happening on the website and be able to show your clients or you can see where your marketing is working and see all the steps along the journey and it'll really open things up for you.
This is what makes you a pro marketer. Well, with SEO stuff and Google Ads, because if you know how to set up conversion tracking and the event tracking, which so you set up events in Tag Manager and conversions in Google Analytics, right? And so they're mirrored. Is that right, Phelan? Is that how you describe it?
No, Tag Manager creates the events based on what you tell it to do, and then you name it. And then Google Analytics 4, you actually then convert this event into a conversion, which is like we did today, the form being filled out. That's definitely going to be something that's super important to your business. Of course, there's ones like that you might want to be tracking as events, like the video. They're not really super critical to the business, but they are still important to keep track of. And uh, that's a bit of a. I guess it's not that much of a change because the old Google Analytics UA also did something very similar that you would have to configure it into a goal after you've created the
So you literally go to Tag Manager, you create the event,
event.
and
Yeah.
then you go to Google Analytics and create the goal.
You turn it on to a conversion. So you're
Yeah.
saying like, oh, of all these events, this one is the one that I think is a conversion,
So
meaning that
do we need to do that for Michelle now too?
Yes, please.
data coming in. I think that's the only issue is that we might not have the data there because it doesn't do real time the same way anymore.
I know, but don't we want to set up that portion?
It has to already be an event. That's so we could try. I'm not confident that
I
it'll be
don't.
there.
Oh, so you mean you have to wait a little bit, is what you're saying?
Yeah,
Okay.
it has to show up for you to tell it to become a conversion.
So
it
Michelle
there?
could click on the form, fill it out, and do a test.
Yeah, I actually filled out a test form maybe 2 days ago before I let our team know that it had been done. So
You
there's
should do
definitely
it again.
and I can do it again.
Now, just so you know, what something will come up for you all when you're, talking to other marketing agencies, and they'll say things like, "Oh, your tracking isn't set up properly because you're tracking the button click and not the form filled out." So the other way to track, right, is to track the actual thank you page filled out, which instead of just the click of the button. But you'll learn that a little later on.
Because isn't the thank you page like where after you click the button, it takes you to a thank you page and then you can basically
Track
count.
that.
Yeah, I've gone there.
Yeah.
Is
And
what would be advantageous about doing that over the button click that we've just learned?
you can have rage clicks on a button, right? So say the button, but there's not much of a difference, is there, Phelan? When you get right
Not
down to
these
the
days.
brass.
There used to be a really important to have it be on the thank you page, because say that they got to the form and you don't know, like, that's really that they filled it out because it got transferred over to this page. But like with the change in systems, honestly, I like the click myself.
I
It's a
like the
really-
form, but that's because I think I'm a little old school. So I guess it's a personal preference.
Okay.
But we did have a marketing company come back to us saying, you're not tracking properly because you're not tracking the thank you page. So some people prefer it. So either or, right? I'm sure I could find some documentation to support my view, Phelan.
Because we used to do the thank you page, so this whole button is new to me. That's why I'm used to tracking the thank you page, but then there's also times where that thank you page doesn't load.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
we've
that would
had that
be
as
when you do the
well,
button.
where that, or they filled out the form and then they just didn't bother, like they just closed the window down before they went to the thank you page. We were getting the leads, but we weren't seeing it in the thank you page, people landing on it. And so it's definitely it's test, always be, keep your eyes peeled for it and what you expect the behavior to be. And if it's not coming out like that, then I would take a look at it and make sure that if you're expecting a thank you page to show up and it's not showing up in your analytics store, do you have to do this right now? Yes.
Okay, so now we are in Google Analytics 4.
Yeah.
And we're in Michelle's account.
Yes, I would actually not be going into the life cycle for this because we've just set this up. I would go, into reports. It's still going to be there, but we're going to go real time at the second one.
So you log in, you go under
Two.
the home on the
Left hand.
left-hand side.
Am I
to
not
the-
doing it? Yeah.
No, whose screen are we sharing? Phelan? Oh, Michelle?
This is
Oh, Michelle, yeah, you're
Michelle.
doing it. Oh,
Yeah,
why
you're
are
good. You're
Why
good.
don't I give you the permissions and then I can?
do not have access to the account or property? Interesting. What? Can we go? So the cog in the bottom left-hand side, let's go look at your permissions.
No, it's internal error.
What is
Oh.
that?
It's
It's them, not
500.
you.
Yeah, that's a 500 error. There's something that just broke on their system. Yeah, nothing to do with you.
Google's
Internal
broken.
error is
Yeah.
it's definitely they're having issues.
So that's cool. So we can't do it right now.
Yeah,
Unless
we can't really test right now. Sorry. Yeah, that was
Oh,
unexpected.
Yeah, it was still open from the other day when we did something. I was too scared to close it in case I lost anything.
Yeah, that is very much, they are having some issues. Internal error is not good.
anytime you see 500 error, Phelan, where are you seeing that error?
I'm not. I just know internal error means 500. It's just
Okay.
the pair always go together. That it's a status code. Basically, it says if you reach out to a page and if it's not there or it's broken, it spits back different codes. So 400s means something you screwed up something. You don't have permissions. You're not logged in. A 500 error is they're broken. That means 500 errors are bad. That means that things are breaking or broken. And 200 is good. 300s are redirects.
Yeah.
Eh.
So this one says missing permissions. Which would
It's
be
not
a
because of that
400.
internal error. That tells me
Oh, that
it's
little
not-
red thing that showed up.
Yeah, the little red guy with the internal error, please try again later, that's a very much a we're broken, please come back later.